Hey everybody, it is ElCid932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this next episode of Alone, episode 8. Please make sure you like, you share, and you are subscribed to the channel. And look around. We got lots of stuff going on the channel, exciting, and I don't want you to miss out. So let's get into it. Let's get straight into it. So what we start with is always a quote. What stands in the way becomes the way by Marcus Aurelius. It is day 21, 12:13 p.m. 3 people remain. And we start with Kelsey. And my reviews, I do each person at a time in their entirety until we get to the end. Kelsey is fishing by hand and she's eating a strip of her jerky. We're told that it's less than 70 calories in her strip of jerky and she has 10 pieces left. I said, wow, y'all already telling us she gonna get hungry real quick. She gonna end up without food real quick. So she says she's getting, tired to pull the bow all the way back for a few days now. Okay, it's been off for a few days. So maybe not to spook the animals, I'm thinking she won't go hunting because yes, she can't pull the bow back, but then if she goes out constantly, she will be unsettling the animals and they may change course and not be where they are. But what do you think? I'm not the hunter here. They're the experts. I'm just a humble bystander that just loves the show. So the other contestant, she said, bragged about how much game there was going to be, how easy it was going to be to hunt. And she was a hunting guide or is a hunting guide at home. And all I'm thinking now is, Kelsey, if only you knew. If only you knew. At this point, only 3 people remained. And I would love to know who was bragging to her about how the game is going to be like everywhere and everybody going to be eating good. So she tells us she is a hunting guide at home and she's boiling water. And I'm like, where's the water cache that she had from before? Before she was washed away in that riverbed that she was making a home. So she says she has gotten everyone that she's taken hunting. She's gotten them tagged. And I was like, that's interesting. So we're told that tagged is when a hunter has harvested out their usable game or tags or license. I'm like, okay, I may have to hit you up, Kelsey, because as a lady who is totally interested in this and learning all of the parts of hunting and tagging an animal, I definitely would like to learn more about this. She says everyone underestimated her being able to use her bow because remember, she only learned to use it 8 days ago. So folks, she says, have looked at her and underestimated her as their guide, and is rewarding to her to see a woman out there hunting without any men around, knowing she can do it. And she wants to show women are stronger than they think they are. We're told that the temperature is 43 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 degrees Celsius, and it's 3:14 p.m. now. She's making a dream catcher for her godchild, and we're told that dream catchers came from Native American tribes who believe that they filter out bad dreams. We're told she's using paracord, bird feathers, warthog hair, porcupine quill, and blue bush. Where'd you get the porcupine quill, Kelsey? Somebody in editing, y'all done missed a step, okay? Whether she found the quill on the ground or it washed up ashore, I need to know where she got all these materials. We know about the blue bushes right there. We know the warthog hair. We know all about that. The bird feather, okay, did she find it ashore? When the ducks and stuff were flapping to get away from her? What kind of bird feather was it? Somebody's missing something. She talks about how her grandmother would be so proud and her grandmother would say, you got food, water, shelter, then you're fine. Sounds like something my elders would say. So she does finish the dream catcher. Y'all know I have photos for you. And she says she hopes Eleanor, her goddaughter, grows into a strong, independent woman and knows that no one can hold her back from her dreams. And she hopes to inspire her. Now we're on to day 22, still with Kelsey, and it's 1:06 p.m. She hears loud sounds of the baboons, and she's like, something's going on. She says about 20 of them, and she's looking around. Y'all, they were moving too fast, and I couldn't take pictures, but there was like a herd of baboon. And she says she doesn't have her bow right now with her. It would be nice to know how far she was from her camp production. But she does have her bear spray. And we're told participants were given bear spray to use during negative animal encounters. I'm like, how much bear spray are we talking about? 1 can, 2, a 6-pack? How much bear spray? Because then she goes on to say they're about 35 to 40 now. And they keep coming. She yells and they start running away. She's like, hey. This was not cute. They're getting too close. So she knows she can't go hunting far. She goes to her lookout rock, and the current temperature is 58 degrees Fahrenheit and 14 degrees Celsius. She said this lookout rock gives her a good mood and mental clarity. She wonders how everyone is doing with the baboons. Funny you should ask. She does see a rhino in the distance, and we're told in South Africa, rhinos are not permitted to be hunted using bow and arrow. She also clears up how, far they can see with the camera, y'all. Because remember I was seeing in a previous episode, how did Baha see that, buck all the way up on that mountain? Well, it turns out that they've been using their camera zoom focus. And of course, I have a picture for you to show you what she was using to kind of scope the area from afar. It is a great idea. It's a great way to figure out where to hunt so you don't spook the animals. But I was like, how did they see that far? Now I know. So she says she sees one rhino at first and it's like, oh, okay. Then she sees 2 more. It looks like a baby and the mother. And she says now she feels rhino strong. And I was like, Kelsey, you got to pick up on every little thing you can to get yourself in a good mood. Get yourself pepped up. And I like that. I really do like that from Kelsey. So she says she's going back to camp to make sure the baboons did not come to her camp. And it's time for fishing. Now she's using a beetle, y'all. She found this beetle. Did you find it under a rock? Did you find it just keeled over somewhere? Where'd you find this beetle? It is a blister beetle. It's a top water bait designed to float on the water to attract the fish. Okay. Disappointed in fishing, she says she can't catch anything. She's hard on herself and she's competitive. Now, y'all put a pin in that because she is fishing at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, put a pin in that. We've seen it before where people are successful fishing when? At nighttime. Kelsey, you may want to change up. She says she's hard on herself and she's very competitive. And she does see some fish pop up, but it's over there on the other side of the lake. And I'm like, Kelsey, that's where the shade is. I need you to pay attention. But she will. I have faith in Kelsey. So she says she had done a burro challenge, and it's 90 days to train a donkey and compete with it. And I was like, I did not know those challenges were out there. I know about people training dogs. I know about people training horses, even wild horses, but training a donkey? Okay. We're told that burro is Spanish for donkey or domesticated animal. And she said getting into the competition the first year, they bombed. They did not do well. She said he didn't even want to get into the trailer to go to the competition. But when they finally got there, no bueno. Okay, no bueno. So she said they went back again the following year and they won grand champion. Yes. And because of that, Kelsey's like, hey, I adopted him. I guess this is her good luck charm because she was talking about how he would like the area that she is in right now, trying to fish and survive. So yes, she said she adopted this burro. And the lesson is to, think of what's in front of you and not what's behind. She said the fish ain't biting her bait, but she's not giving up, okay? She is rhino strong. Day 23, 8:39 a.m. She's having a bad hair day, y'all. She told y'all she's having a bad hair day. I guess, Kelsey, I was too. But she says, don't complain to her out there if you're having a bad day. Look at hers. Y'all, I didn't want to put up the picture of her bad hair day. You could certainly go look at the episode. I'm going to keep her rhino strong on this channel, okay? I'm not going to put up her bad hair day photo. So the geese passed by and she's like, yes, I know it's a bad hair day. She's acting like the geese are telling her, yeah, girl, we agree it's a bad hair day. She said fishing is not working, so she's going hunting. And she wants to break down the barriers for female hunters and guides. Now, y'all, she sees some warthogs and they're far away. She says she got to drop down so they don't see her, and she's waiting. She notches her arrow, and the anticipation has me holding my breath. She adjusts the camera so, the angle could pick up her hunting them. And y'all, she lets the arrow go, and it's low. And the warthogs run off. Of course, I have a photo for you. It was a couple of warthogs. They look real blended in. If you look at this photo, they look really blended in. I could barely see them when she was looking at them on camera. She said she cannot draw her bow back to the anchor point. And we're told bows not drawn fully will have less power, resulting in a weaker shot. She retrieves the arrow. She says she cannot ethically keep hunting if she cannot pull back her bow all the way. She needs another inch or two to pull back at full strength. She's trying not to break down. She's here to push her limits, not to give up when it gets hard. So she gives it all she had and thinks back to what her grandmother would say. You got food, you got water, you're fine. It is day 22. We go pulling back because it's another person now. 8:21 a.m. Katie. Katie's going hunting, and she's eating a soup of buffalo thorn leaves and acacia seeds. She is losing faith, she says, in fishing. I was like, girl, don't lose faith. She caught a fish on day 1, they tell us. And this is day 22, Katie. So she has lost 22 pounds since day 1. She said going slow is her option, so her energy does not drop. She's eating plant food, but it will not carry her very far. She said she wants to see if she can evade being seen by the animals. And then I'm like, Katie, what about your smell? Now, y'all, I say that to be all kind and gentle because we know we have not been seeing them, freshen up. We know they're freshening up. And we know they're not freshening up with the dirty water. But even if she had the dirty water, it's poop. There is a smell coming from you, and it's different than what the animals are used to. So, Katie, they may not see you, but what about your smell? She says the animals are cluey. This is an informal Australian way of seeing that it's very perceptive. And I was like, okay, that is very different. Cluey. I guess they have a clue. They're clued in. That's how I'm going to think of it. The water buck are always on the hill, so she says she will sit and wait. And I'm like, y'all remember, Katie ain't got no water bottle. That was not on her list. How far are we from camp? Do we have water to be sitting here in this heat? So, is she downwind? So she does tell us, yes, she's kind of downwind, but I don't trust it. But she said no water bucks or animals have been passing by where she's sitting. Back at camp, though, back at camp, that's 1.5 miles away or 2.4 kilometers away. The monkeys are in her home, y'all, and I have a picture of one of them. I saw 3 scurry across the screen, but one of them was real close up on the camera and went all the way into her tent. She comes home and she says, ooh, baboon tracks. No, sweetie, even though it may look like baboons, we saw the furry creatures. It was more, the little monkeys. So they took her fur insulated hat. I said, now, why did y'all take that? Y'all got your own fur, but it's a different kind of fur. So they're probably inquisitive, as they tell us that they are highly inquisitive and curious and are known to steal from humans. She says, I got to shut up the shelter. I got to make sure this won't happen again. Now, y'all, she closes the tarp, okay? She closes the tarp across the front of the tent, and she puts rocks down in front of it to hold it. And I'm like, is this going to hold off the baboons, the monkeys? I can see like little areas that they could just push through to still get in to the tent. I don't think this is going to work, Katie. She says she's using plants for her calorie intake. We're told that she has mint, Cape wiregrass, but this is a hardy grass that helps withstand the grazing and the harsh conditions. They said not a lot of plant food, but she's looking in spaces between the plants that people miss. And y'all, I'm proud of her. Katie finds wild garlic, and they're growing by the shoreline. Y'all know I got pictures for you, okay? So keep your eyes glued to the screen. At 6:37 p.m., she has soup with garlic, wild mint, and acacia seeds. She said the hunger is really, food security. She's dealt with the psychology of food insecurity in the Arnhem land. And we're told the Arnhem land is 97,000 square kilometer region in the Northern Territory of Australia, and primarily the Aboriginal Reserve, okay? And the Yolngu people are the traditional owners. She says the indigenous people don't have traditional access to their foods anymore because the land is being destroyed. The health and suffering of the people are because they're now eating Western food. I can understand that. For their people, generationally, they've hunted and gathered their own food. Y'all, she's sitting there grinding down the spices, the seeds, and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, so creative. And of course, I have pictures for you. So she said, food insecurity is a threat to the nervous system when you don't have and don't know where your food is coming from. We're told 100 grams of these grass seeds is nearly 400 calories. Y'all, she's soaking the seeds overnight like a porridge. That's what she decided to do. She pours some of the hot water from the soup and have the seeds just soaking. Her edge on the show is knowing how to feed yourself consistently. I said, you better tell him, Katie. It is day 23 at 1:47 p.m. She's working on a mud shelter. I have a photo for you. And then she's going hunting. And she said the grass seeds had an extra oomph in them and she doesn't feel as taxed as she usually would. And I'm like, from rhino, thunder, to the seeds having a little oomph, the ladies are getting, what they need. She can hear something though, y'all. And she sees 2 large warthogs and their babies. And she says, hey, I'll follow them. She notches her arrow. It's real hard to see them. And though I made a circle of where the mama is, you just see her derriere if you look really close. She notches her arrow. She said, oh my word. They went into the brush and it's not a clear shot. And even still, it is 50 yards away. She said she missed her opportunity to get it, but it is possible. She said she has been on a spiritual quest, and this is like a spiritual quest. She says she hasn't had many in her life, but the transformation also means a loss. Said, lodging. She says it means losing a part of yourself in order to grow. And we're told that vision quest typically involves meditation, fasting, and periods of solitude to obtain clarity for the future. She said she has experienced this during her childbirth. She says, hey, childbirth taught her that women are just heroes. While she's eating this plant-based soup for dinner, she's talking about this transformation. She says, what we endure during childbirth is something. It feels like you're almost going to pass away. And I'm like, girl, you better tell him about that pain. She does show us also that she had some sedge plant. And we're told that sedge is a grass-like plant found in wet or marshy areas. She said when she gave birth, the young woman in her passed away so she could become the mother she is. So I kind of understand that, but I don't think the young woman passed away. I think you set aside being a young woman, or you had a metamorphosis into the woman and mother that you are. So I understand her. I just have a different thought process. So what are your thoughts about that? About, transformation in your life? Does one part have to pass away to lead to the other part? Or is it a metamorphosis, just kind of a changing of your skin and outer layers? She said there are struggles here, and the energy of the quest is what keeps her on track. She said the loss of, a 20-year relationship and the start of a new independent phase for her. She says she trusts in the challenges, in the grief and the pain to unlock her power. She goes to bed, y'all. And I'm like, I would love to interview you, Katie, because this is a very, very, very much up to par for me. Because she goes to bed, y'all. And we see something outside her tent. And it's a porcupine. It walks right by her tent. And all I'm saying is, look outside, Katie. Don't go to bed right now. There's a porcupine. There is meat. There's food right outside your tent. And I'm like, I know she can't hear me. But look outside. I'm like, the ladies, y'all are going to bed too early and becoming nighttime. Y'all ain't fishing and y'all ain't looking outside to see what's coming by at night so y'all can eat. Ladies, you're missing out, okay? So now we're here, day 23, 6:58 a.m. Nathan. This is our third survivor that is still here. So he went, fishing for a couple hours and had success. And I'm like, here we go again. We don't even have the footage. Are you pulling this stuff in? So this fish, we're told, is 3 feet 9 inches long. I said, Nathan, you are becoming the fisherman of the season. But then he pulls out a second fish, and it's a small catfish. And I was like, what? So the small catfish apparently, y'all, ate the scorpion that he had set out for bait. And then a bigger catfish came and ate that little catfish. So he got a 2-for-1 special. I said, Nathan, I guess only you. Y'all, I will have pictures, of course, of both fish. I'll see if I could put it on either side or top and bottom. But you will see one into the other, big fish takes little fish. So he said fishing is on again and off again for him. And he had success in the morning and at night. Tell him, Nathan. He said the fish is moving while it's being cleaned up because it's responding. The nervous system is still responding. And he's telling us on camera, the fish is no longer with us. Don't fret if you see it, moving around. We're told that this catfish will give him 10,000 calories. Now, they weren't clear if it was both together or just the big fish that we saw, but we're told that it'll give him 10,000 calories. He said he's going to cook a big piece and, use this energy on his shelter. So he cooks it and he goes to eat. And his concern is about getting food that will, stick with you. And will he continue to be able to be this successful in fishing? And y'all, I'm sorry about Nathan's photos. Nathan, dear, please. Your camera always got an issue. It's always either wet, either it's off, we didn't see this fishing moment, or it's got wet spots, or it got steam all over it. I couldn't take a picture of the food once he cooked it because it was steam all over the camera, all over the lens, and he didn't wipe it off. We need a little better footage, Nathan. I hope they tell you that on the next med check. Y'all, they do med checks, I believe weekly, but I'm not sure since this is Africa. So he said the ancestors dealt with feast or famine stages, and he thinks of all the survival training he got from his mom. Okay? He thinks about the Stoics teaching. It's a group of philosophies from ancient Greece and Rome. The thought is focused on resilience, ethics, and the pursuit of virtue. He says when we face a challenge, rather than focus on how terrible, recognize what's within the obstacle is a path forward. He said, the catfish breaking his line and stealing his hooks, that was an obstacle that became the way. Now, since he's made, a tougher line, he's now able to catch the big fish. In a moment, he says, when you look back on it, you could see it, but you can't see it in the moment. The obstacles lead to bigger solutions than if they were not there. I kind of understand him. Like, you have the obstacle, you have to find a path around, through, or with this obstacle, and it leads you to something better. I do understand that. Because if the small fish didn't break his line, he wouldn't have made that very strong line so he could catch these 4-footers, these 3-foot catfish, okay? Day 24, 10:16 a.m. He's eating a big breakfast, he said. He's like, there's only one meal left. And then there's no more fish for right now. Remember, he caught it. At least he told us, and he cleaned it, and he ate day 23. This is a 3-foot catfish. So you're telling me, Nathan, day 24, the next morning, you only got one more meal left? I think we're eating a little fast, Nathan. What are y'all thoughts on that? In a day, this 3-foot 9-inch long and the second small fish, and we only have one meal left? Interesting. He says he got to work on the shelter now. Both fish lines are out. He can see them because, y'all, they have to keep an eye on their line. They're not allowed to use gill nets in South Africa at all. And it has to be a watch to line. He says He's focused on, on fish, on drying it, and doing the shelter today. So he said he's switching to a different kind of stone at this juncture. He wants to be able to stand up in the shelter. I was like, is that the best thing, Nathan? Because now you got to heat and cool the entire area just because you want to stand up in a portion of it. He's using metaphoric rock and is ideal for long-lasting, sturdy, and resistant to wear and weathering. It's a flatter and easier to stack, he tells us. At 12:22 p.m., we've seen him working on the shelter, and we're told he's been working since day 15, y'all. It is day 24 now. That's how long Nathan been working on this shelter. And of course, I have pictures for you as to what stage he's on. Nathan, get it together, please. He said based on the calories, the shelter is way more than he needs, and we're told he's burning 300 calories an hour building the shelter. Oh my word. And you're almost to 10 days building it? Wow. But we're also told he's lost 20 pounds since day one. He wants to make it, as he said, where he can stand in the shelter. But it's too much, Nathan. I'm sorry. You'll have to keep it upkeep, keep it warm and everything. But y'all, the side wall falls. And I'm like, Nathan, did you miss an area too for a chimney? Because that would be a good corner for you to have a chimney and a chimney exhaust. But of course, I have a picture for you of before and of course after when the side wall falls. And I'm like, what if it fell with him in it? Luckily, it fell outwards. What if he was in the tent and it fell inwards? This shelter, I'm like, do you have mud anywhere? Do you have anything that could kind of stabilize these rocks so they're not balancing on each other? He says, oh my gosh, darn it. In one weak spot, that's all it took. He said he ignored the weak spot. He knew it. He used some stone, he said, when he should not have. And he feels like he cannot recover from this. It's a loss to the integrity of the structure. He said he needs to reassess. He needs calories and he needs to check the fishing poles. He said it's not enough calories, and because he doesn't have enough calories, it's affecting his mental state. Because y'all, he would have probably changed up and moved and adjusted that, area of the wall that was not strong. Then he goes and the fishing lines are snagged. They're snagged on stuff under the water. And he said he cannot lose the hooks, so he will have to dive in the water for them. Y'all, there's dirty water. There's rank water that everybody been telling us about. He about to dive in to save his hooks, and now we learn why. We're told by production, Nathan lost 9 of the 25 hooks and only has 8 large hooks remaining. Whew, he said most growth is connected to a form of struggle. The greatest gift is the opportunity to do difficult things and not be rescued by them. He got the hook, y'all. He got the first hook. He said, ooh, and it still had the bait on it. I said, okay, Nathan, okay, let's go for the other one. He says difficult times, is the opportunity for growth. Like a 50-mile hike he made when he was a young man, and he had blisters and everything, and he was weak and tired, but he felt accomplished. Y'all, he goes to the second hook, and it's snagged between 2 rocks, and they're too big to move. But Nathan decides, you will be moved. He also goes on to say you cannot truly be happy and feel the depth of happiness unless you have truly suffered. The two coexist. I'm like, they coexist, but they don't have to, Nathan. Some people can experience happiness without experiencing sadness. Are you saying that the sweetness of happiness cannot be as sweet unless you have sadness with it? I understand, but I don't agree. He got the rock to move. He pulls the line out, but he lost the hook. The rock apparently cut the line. He says he has deep admiration for those on the Alone show, anyone who has attempted it. He said to be out here in the public eye, to break down physically and psychologically, and to let the world see it takes a lot of courage. He says a high risk of failure, but struggle is important, and the success is in keeping trying. Y'all, that is the end of the episode, and weirdly enough, there are no previews. Weirdly enough, there are no previews. You know what that kind of tells me? Maybe the next episode is the last one. I don't know. Don't quote me. But we don't have a preview on the History Channel's website or any of the other versions of Alone that is put out there. Y'all, that is the end of the episode. I hope y'all will join me next time. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.